Hello and welcome to the 2021 Esri UK Annual Conference and this box set on opening access to GIS and data using ArcGIS Hub sites. I'm Sam Tizzard, the Senior GIS and Address Data Officer at Harrow Council. Bit of a lengthy title, but it works for me. I thought I'd throw my colleague's name in here too, Delgado Mayhew, who's the GIS and Address Data Officer at Harrow Council. Together we formed the GIS team, and I definitely thought it was worth mentioning Del because he did help with this project quite a bit. As I said, together we are the GIS team for the council. The corporate GIS team, I should say. We form the core for all things GIS data and mapping generally at the council. We're responsible for the corporate database, central corporate spatial database. We're responsible for and champion Esri's software, of course, because it's fantastic. We also own and manage the corporate gazetteer, so the LLPG for those of you that know it. For those of you that don't, it's a giant addressing database. So we're responsible for maintaining, keeping addresses up to date in that. We're also the digital services data and systems integration team, which basically means we like to tie systems together using a cool piece of software we have. We find ways to link our digital systems, so our forms products, our website, back office systems, line of business systems, and tying the two together through web services, XML loading or similar processes, and generally anything else that we have to be. We like to problem solve and we like to get involved with data and cool systems. So the problem that we faced was how to run an engaging and interactive GIS day during the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm sure many of you are aware of COVID-19 and the problems that it's caused, but this particular problem faced us. We came to GIS Day quite suddenly for us and suddenly realised we should do something and hadn't got anything really planned. So the problems that this posed to us was social distancing, which limited the number of possible attendees. So obviously with COVID going on, 2-meter distancing, you can't have too many people in the same space, masks and all of this. So it caused a number of problems for us in terms of hosting an event, as lots of other organisations, companies have found, I'm sure. We also had no workplace to host an event, as the council building had been deemed not safe during COVID. There wasn't enough ventilation and there were certain restrictions on why we couldn't use the actual building itself for hosting an event. So we had social distancing in place and no place to actually hold an event. On top of this, we've had terrible attendance at previous GIS days, and we'd be lucky normally to go just above double digits. So, how to host a GIS day and overcome all of those issues? Our solution needed to be as accessible as possible, so you can engage with as wide a target audience as possible, show as many people as possible how great GIS is and all the cool things it can do. It also needed to be quick and easy to create. As I said, we'd come up against GIS Day pretty quickly and did not have as much time as we would have initially hoped and liked to have put a solution together. So something that's quick to use or quick to learn how to use and easy to create content with is essentially what we were looking for. Also required minimal development skills to build and run. So we did look at a number of solutions that were quite developer heavy in terms of site hosting, content management, requiring lots of custom CSS and custom JavaScript skills in order to actually build and host sites. And we weren't looking for anything like that. We wanted minimal maintenance, easy to build. And so for our solution, we found ArcGIS Hub. So as part of this presentation, I wanted to give you a quick demo just to walk you through our GIS Day site, show you some of its functionality and how it's put together, just so you have a better understanding. I always find that talking people through things is one thing, but showing them how it works gives a better understanding. So this is our GIS Day Hub site. It's essentially a nice, easy to use web page. Simple scroll functionality takes you up and down it. Very straightforward. You can't get easier to use, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned. We decided to break our GIS Day site up into subsections, logical grouping of things effectively. So we have a GIS Day landing page. You can see up here at the top, GIS Day landing page, which effectively creates a tab for that page. The GIS Day landing page is effectively where people come to land on the day. There's a little bit of GIS information, what GIS is, what GIS Day is, why geospatial information is so important. The next logical grouping we put together was Harrow sessions. So this is case studies from Harrow that reflect some of the work or testing we've been doing or playing with applications, some of the functionality we can use in GIS that might help people around the council. So you've got the Harrow Sessions tab up here, which is again makes it easy to access, nice easy functionality. Following on from that, we have the third-party content up here at the top again. Third-party content essentially was given to us by third party, so Esri UK and Blue Sky Limited contributed a lot of data each. So there's a lot of information in there just to kind of enrich or enhance the amount of content we're sharing with our customers, just to show them what else is possible in the world of GIS, not just what we've been playing with and what we've been doing. Next, the demos and apps section, which is effectively any interactive application or any interactive thing on the site, and we grouped all these together into one simple and easy to access page because not everyone likes to read through content, and giving them something to play with or giving them something to physically use and see how it works, again, a lot more interactive, a lot more interesting, and normally a lot more engaging. And finally, a feedback section. So the feedback section was a simple survey 123 form we've built to get feedback on the site, as well as let people inquire if they have any more information or have any more thoughts about what we've triggered throughout GIS Day, to see if there's anything we've done that they think they could take further in their way of working to help them. So just to go through a couple of these pages quickly. So scrolling down, as I said, nice easy functionality. You scroll down the hub site. We decided to put some event content in here just so that we have an agenda for the day. So that effectively outlines the GIS Day landing page, what's on the GIS Day landing page, opening comments, what is GIS, what is GIS Day, the importance of location data, what Harrow sessions we had active on the day, so COVID dashboard session, etc., etc., etc. Links to those sections as well, third-party content, who contributed to third-party content, and everything within that. Again, links to that session, links to more cases and demos. We'd like to link a lot of things. It's also accessible via the top, as I'll show you in a second, but we just like to put as many links in there as possible just to help people navigate. We also linked to a Teams session where we had a live Q&A, which was really good. So easy to embed it in there and just literally say click on this link, as well as following down, YouTube videos embedded, simple as plug the link in and off it goes. Very, very easy to use. And you can either have it as box view like this or extend it across the whole screen if you prefer. Carrying on, what is GIS? So all those things we saw in event content are now popping up here as we laid out the page. Another embedded YouTube video and some text content. Embedding an image, nice, simple and easy. Nice Wordle of the day. Another image from Esri. Pinched a lot of content from Esri, it's very useful. Carrying on, what is GIS Day? A bit more information about the day. Another YouTube video embedded just to give Jack Dangermond a good thumbs up because cracking video he did as always. Following on the location or importance of location data, sorry, describing why GIS is so important, why location is so important, and how much it's going to be used moving forwards. Another video, some further reading links, and a little bit about who presented on the day, who contributed to the site, and basically everyone that helped pull the whole site together. So it's nice and easy to navigate, very user-friendly, simple to use. I'll just flick through and show you a couple of other bits. So going up to Harrow Sessions, this is the sub-site effectively. So sat within this page, we then linked onto other pages which will link to this one site. So we've got monitoring COVID-19. I'm going to go with the using GIS to plan the future of electoral boundaries because I quite like this piece of work. So within that sub-site, it then links onto this page effectively, which is we had a page per case study. So we have an introduction for the case study, just a bit of text, embedded YouTube video, someone talking. So this is Vishal, our deputy head of elections, and talking about what we did and why we did it and why it was important and how much it helped them. Embedded GIF, just to show you a bit of functionality about how the application actually worked, and a bit of text about the application, just to talk through what it was, how it worked, and what the purpose of it was. And then an example application. So as well as just showing what it did, we've physically embedded the JavaScript application or the link to the application and embedded that HTML page in this site, just so that you can physically play with it yourself, and anyone coming to the GIS Day site can play with it themselves. So that you can draw a shape on this map, type your name in, update the features, wait for my slow internet to catch up, and 742 properties. So that's 742 properties within this area, which was critical for them to be able to draft the polling district boundaries. Something else we thought that was critical to do was that at the bottom of each section we embedded some text and a link off to our feedback form, just so that if anything people had seen here triggered any thoughts for them, or any ways that this information, this way of working, or anything like this could help them in their day-to-day, they can quickly and easily link off to the feedback form. Again, they could also via the top, but we decided just to make it as easy as possible to use and keep it in there so that as many people as possible took notice of it. We also loved these cards. These are very simple and easy to add little cards that come as part of the hub sites. And we chose to use them as links to other pages, so that if someone scrolled to the bottom of the page and they saw something else that they thought they'd be interested in, they can just click through these applications to view them. So for example, clicking onto Harrow's 3D application will link you to the Harrow 3D page. Very easy to use, links the site together very nicely, and just very simple, easy to use functionality. Really liked it. So following on from this, I'll skip third-party content because there's a lot of information in there. Similar sub-site, but then linking through to Esri and Blue Sky. But if you want to have a look, feel free. So demos and apps. This, again, lots of nice cards. Love the cards. They're very easy to use, very easy to plug a picture into, and then very easy to just put a bit of description and then a link into that piece of information, that application, or whatever you're looking to do. So this pulled all of that information together into one easy to use place. Again, love the functionality. And finally, feedback form. So the great thing we found about ArcGIS Hub and the hub sites was that they effectively tie all of your Esri software together. So survey 123 form, again, easily embedded. You literally pick survey 123 form and add to page, and it will use your account details, find out what survey 123 forms you have, and drop it into that page. So it's nice and easy to use and access. So they're all built individually and then pulled together in this one application. So that's a good overview of our GIS Day site. It's open and online for anybody to access. So if you fancy having a look, by all means, take a look. I'm going to go back to the presentation now and carry on. So what benefits did this provide to us? As was proposed and as we needed to meet, it was easy to use. So it required minimal developer code to use and build the ArcGIS Hub site. As I said, plug and play, plug videos in here, plug GIFs in here, embed applications in here. Nice and easy to use, no specialist skill required really. There was a small bit of CSS just to make things style and look exactly how we wanted, but other than that, it was mostly plug and play. It enabled sharing with and engaging with a much wider audience. So rather than having a set time on a set day and saying, come to this room, come to GIS Day, come and see what we can do for you, we didn't have the restriction of it had to be at a set time, it didn't have to even be on a set day. Giving people something online enables them to access it much more easily, and so massively increases the amount of people you can connect with. As I said before, easy to build, but it was also quick to build. So it took us roughly 1 day to throw the bare bones of the site together, to have all of our content pages as we wanted them. It did take a little bit longer to get all the content together to then populate those pages, but for building a site, it took one whole day to learn, and that was finding the application, playing with the application to see what it could do and if it would meet our requirements, and setting that site up. So really quick to get up and running. It was also more convenient for users. So as I said, with a wider engagement, there's no set time, there's no set date. It's a lot easier for people to use whenever they want. That's during work hours, out of work hours, on the day, even before the day. It was shared with a number of family members for the team without our knowledge. So my manager shared it with a number of his family members, who then shared it with friends, and there were quite a few hits the 2 days before GIS Day, before it had even been finished, before it was even live. But you can see by the numbers the convenience for people, when before we were maybe getting 10 or 20 people to a GIS Day, to have 2,384 hits on that site, or visits to that site in November, was insane for us and absolutely thrilling. And then to keep that going through the year, December we had 229 people. That would be 10 times at least the number of people we would have normally had on a single GIS Day event if we'd have hosted it at the Civic Centre site before. So it has continued turning our GIS day into a GIS year in a way. It's always there for people to access. So our next steps with ArcGIS Hub is to renew the site and to add more content to it for GIS Day 2021. Obviously, it's coming around again and it'll probably sneak up on us, but to renew that site and add more content to it, remove stuff that probably wasn't as popular last year, but now we have that site in place, the framework's already there for us. The hard work's pretty much been done. It's just finding more case studies that we want to put in there and think would be more interest to people. So that's step one. The next step, and I would love to get this together because it would make accessing our training data for GIS so much easier, is a training portal or a hub site set up to just do GIS training. Pooling together all of the materials that we have. So currently we have PDFs, GIFs, videos strewn across our network, as well as Esri videos and access to those, as well as online guides from other sources and other various bits and bobs, and pooling all of that information into one easy to use place, into something that's easy to use and set up as ArcGIS Hub, would be incredible for us. It would be game changing in terms of not having to go to people, have calls with people, show them how to use ArcGIS or how to use ArcGIS online, and just say, look, these are your top tips, these are your key guides, this is what you'd be most interested in. Explore the site as you like and just gather that knowledge yourself. It would be game changing. The last final thing that I would like to do in the short term, there are lots of plans in the long term, but for the short term, Harrow Open Data Portal. It's something that at Harrow we're a little bit behind. We're good in terms of putting our data out there, so we have lots of online web applications that show people the data, but in terms of providing access to that data, we don't really have anything in place for that at the council. So creating something that would enable people to download data and to play with the data themselves, that's where you get innovation and creativity. So creating an open data portal would be great for people that are requesting the data, saves them time, saves them hassle, gives them something to use and to actually get their hands on, but also would save staff time in terms of cutting out all the governance and things around providing open data, freedom of information. It enables staff to do that once rather than 6 times every couple of weeks because of the amount of requests they receive. So I think an open data portal for Harrow would be incredibly exciting and incredibly useful. Just to quickly summarise, ArcGIS Hub Sites has been a valuable tool for us in setting up our GIS Day site from last year, and without a doubt will be a very valuable tool for us moving forwards with GIS Day 2021 and setting up our training portal and open data portal as well, for sure. I would highly recommend having a play with it if you get the chance, or finding a reason to play with it. I'm sure you can find many things to do with it, but otherwise, thank you very much for your time and hope you have a lovely rest of the conference.